Any given day, man.
Welcome back to another episode of the JOTO Show. I'm your host, Josh, aka Lickers, and Tony Boney's your host.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the JOTO Show. We have a lot more to talk about this time compared to last week. So let's just jump into it because we have a lot to talk about.
What's going on in sports world?
Football.
It's back.
So we got a lot of football to talk about. So let's get straight into it. We got some primetime games for y'all. Let's start with Kansas City. Thursday night football. It was a very close game.
It
One score
was.
game. It was a last second game basically. Came down to the last second.
It was like back and forth for a while there, and then too when somebody all the time like that. Doesn't matter what games it was. They're back and forth. Then somebody changed that around, like takes the lead big time on that game.
Yeah, Kelsey wasn't really a no-show. He didn't show up that well this game. But the rookie Xavier Worthy did amazing for them. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But in the end, it all came down to toes. Isaiah Likely was centimeters away from potentially tying, if not winning, that game.
It was a good game. I was watching that game.
Yeah.
Next game, Brazil game. Brazil game was first time ever in Brazil and first ever Friday night football in week 1. Eagles 34-29 over Green Bay Packers. That was a good game also.
Yeah. So far, these games have been all one-score games. They've been close games, competitive. The field in Brazil was a little slippery though, to start off and kind of throughout the whole game.
It's not a bad stadium. I was watching the game.
Yeah, it's not a bad stadium. It's just that field was a little slippery.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
Um,
holy.
yeah. Saquon had 3 touchdowns that game
I think so.
for his Eagles debut, so that was great for him. Jordan Love did get injured though. We'll get to that later on when we get to our injury report.
Next game.
We had Sunday Night Football where the Rams visited Detroit in an overtime thriller. Actually, this was our first overtime game of the season, and it was a great game to say the least.
It was a no close game. It always starts off with close games.
That's how it seems. They always got to get the rust off, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Next primetime, it was Monday night. New York Jets taking on the 49ers. The Niners won 32-19. I watched the end of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
It was bad. It was kind of bad for the Jets.
This one's not a close game.
This was like the one game outside of maybe a couple more that we'll see in a second. This was one of those games that is just like not one score, not close, not competitive. At first, it kind of was. Niners scored a field goal, then the Jets went on to score a touchdown. But that Niners defense was actually kind of insane.
I didn't see, and I only saw like 4 quarter. I was see what I just want to know what the score was, and I saw it was like, yeah, the Giants. I mean, not Giants. The Niners are gonna win this game.
Yeah. Jordan Mason, man, they didn't have Christian McCaffrey this game. Still was out with an injury, so they had to bring in Jordan Mason to play. Dude lit up the Jets defense.
Hmm. Then Aaron Rodgers survived this game.
Yeah, he lasted more than 4 plays. So
I
despite the
know.
loss, Jets fans are probably still happy that their quarterback actually
Yeah,
survived a full game.
I would too. I would too. If it, like anybody would if their quarterback's like that. Next,
We're getting into these Sunday afternoon games though. There's a lot to get through, so we'll go a quick lightning round. Steelers 18-10 against the Falcons. Steelers did not score a single touchdown in that game. They were the only AFC North team to win. Cardinals, Bills. Bills won that by 1 score. Marvin Harrison was wide open for one of those plays. Did not get the ball because Kyler Murray was too busy running out of the pocket. Bears, Titans. Bears won that mostly defensive and special teams game. Very, very good job on the defense and special teams from the Bears. Famous picture of Will Levis on his knees grabbing his head. Might be the best picture of the season.
really, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I should have added it here, but I didn't. I'll throw it up on when I edit this.
Okay.
And then we get to your game.
Cincinnati
What happened, man?
Bengals lost at 16-10. It was back and forth game almost. It was for a while there was no scores. Bengals fumble it into the end zone. They got the ball too many times. We got a touchdown and the ball he didn't secure the ball. We almost came back in the fourth quarter. Bengals do come back in four quarters. That's what they are. We didn't at all. We should have. Joe Brewer is back healthy. He had a great training camp, they said, and he's healthy. He only had one preseason game. He's back. We'll see if we can win week 2.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys got a tough matchup week 2, man. Cincinnati also for the last 3 seasons, week 1, they're 0-3. They haven't
Yes,
won
I
week
forgot
1
about that.
games for
I
the last
forgot
3
name dude
seasons.
reminded me that. I forgot to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's been tough for early seasons for the Bengals.
yeah. Plus, it was that home game.
Yeah. All right, now we must move on. Texans, Colts. This was potentially game of the week. And not potentially, actually, it was game of the week in my eyes because it was a great QB battle. We had Anthony Richardson slipping on his back foot and then throwing off his back foot in the same play. 60 yards to Alec Pierce for a touchdown. Then we had Stephon Diggs debut. Like this was just a great game overall.
You can see a lot of close games on here.
Yep, a lot of close games. And then we'll get to one in a second that wasn't close.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville, Miami, this game was pretty good. Tyreek was arrested before the game, but then was released. Not sure what that whole scuffle was about.
The quarterback for Shackleton, he's not that bad quarterback. He came from Clemson. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And
But
now,
in the end it was a game-winning field goal from Miami to seal the deal and win that game. Moving on now, we have probably the worst game to watch or the best game to watch, depending on what type of fan you are. If you're a Saints fan, that was probably your best game to watch. If you were a Panthers fan, you turned it off by halftime. It was that bad.
because
Blowout of the week based on differential.
the Saints had different quarterbacks back then. You had Drew Brees, you have Andy Dalton, a couple years. Because I know Andy Dalton used to be for the Bengals.
It's funny because I think if I remember, Andy Dalton actually was in for Carolina near the end of the game too. Since he's on Carolina now.
Yeah, we used to play against Andy Dalton's old team. It was like they had different quarterbacks. Their main quarterback, best quarterback ever they had, it was Drew Brees.
Yeah, now they're dealing with Derek Carr, which honestly from that game kind of looked like I don't want to say 2016 Carr because that Derek Carr was insane.
I was watching.
But,
I was watching the Bengals game, and I saw the score. I was like, "Did I say 40 something to 10?" I was like, "Before the game's over." I was like, holy! I was like, what the? I can't believe it. I wasn't watching the game. I just saw the scores. Like, what the? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Lightning round time. Minnesota, New York Giants. This was a bad game for Danny Dimes. But for the Vikings, this looked pretty good for Sam Darnold. Vikings fans, Sam Darnold can be that guy as a good backup. Well, now he's got to be the starter for the whole year, actually. So, yeah.
He used to be the Niners.
Yeah, Niners backup once, Panthers backup, or actually Panthers starter, I believe, at one point, and then Jets to start off his career.
And now he's on the Vikings.
Yep. So that's good that you guys without JJ can still win a couple games. I know it's the Giants, but a win's a win. You'll always take a win. As for teams that won't take a win, that's the Raiders this week. Defense looked great for the first half, and then they got tired because the offense couldn't stay on the field, so the defense was on it most of the time. Jim Harbaugh's returned to the NFL as well. Good game for him. Chargers running backs were actually popping off. J.K. Dobbins might have a resurgence after being injured for like the last 2 years. So that's good for him. Chargers win that one 22-10. Denver, Seattle, Bo Nix debut. You know what he did? He threw 2 interceptions.
And they said Seattle is the loudest stadium there is in NFL history.
The pressure definitely probably got to Bo due to the noise over there.
Yeah, they say it's a loud. Like they beat all-time records of the
Yep.
biggest noise. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go there and get my ears blasted.
No, me either.
Yeah, it was a decent game though. Denver had 2 safeties, so they got 4 points off of safety. So that's a weird 20 when you look at that score. And Gino actually had a rushing touchdown, old man himself, for like 30 yards.
Some of these are close games. Some of these are not close games. That is a close game, 6-point game.
And then we jump to a not close game where Dallas decimated the Browns.
I'm okay with the Browns wins because that's the division Bengals and the Steelers and the Ravens are in. I'm okay with the Browns loss. They don't have their Baker Mayfield anymore.
Yeah. Not having Baker is really bad because, as you can see, he's doing really good in Tampa Bay against the Commanders, winning 37-20. Baker got paid recently from Tampa.
And he took Tom Brady's spot from Tampa too, actually.
Yep. Technically, yes. Yeah, he had a great game. Jaden Daniels also had his debut as a rookie. He had 2 rushing touchdowns for a quarterback. So it looks a little promising for Washington. Just
they always have tough years, Washington. And Carolina Panthers too. Yeah, all the teams have like tough.
Yeah, Commanders have it worse though, because they got to play the Cowboys and the Eagles twice a year.
Not the year. Panthers only won 1 game the 1 year. I was like, I feel bad for their team. Whatever who fans of the Carolina Panthers only win 1 game out.
Fans. If you're a Panthers fan, leave a comment. How does this loss feel to you?
And how many times like you only won 1 game 1 year? How you feel of that too?
Yeah,
it was crazy. Okay, moving on.
We got to move on though. That's enough football.
Now
but actually, it's not.
We're still. This is different kind of way. It's injured.
Yeah, we got some injuries to report with their estimated return dates. Starting off from the Baltimore game, we had Kyle Van Noy with a fractured orbital bone. He's gone for 4 to 8 weeks. For those who don't know what the orbital bone is, it's near your eye, so that area is fractured. So he's gone 2 to a month or 2. Very bad. That was when he went for a tackle on Mahomes and Mahomes landed on him, and he kind of was like holding his head after that play. So yeah, it's a really bad injury. Also bad injuries is Jordan Love from Green Bay, the quarterback, recently tied for the highest paid quarterback with Joe Burrow. Suffered an MCL sprain, so he's gone for 3 to 6 weeks. Hopefully 3 because I know if I know a buddy who's a Packers fan and he was
Not happy. I know
he
you're
was in distraught by
in
how bad that
distress.
injury was. Yeah, that's the word. Because for at least 3 weeks, you're gonna have to deal with Malik Willis as their backup unless they sign another quarterback.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Derek Brown from Carolina suffered a knee injury,
Ooh,
which it was a torn meniscus. Which, if you don't recall, or if you do recall, same injury as JJ McCarthy. The thing with the torn meniscus is you don't really know when the return happens until you start getting surgery. So he's gonna get surgery, and once we know how bad the injury is, we'll know how long he will be out. Minimum will probably be 6 weeks, but it can be as worse as a season-ending injury, which it all depends on location of the fracture or the tear, the type of tear, and also the size of it.
I like it. The next one's day to day.
Yeah, the next one's day to day. It's Roma Dunze. A lot of A sounds. Rookie Roma Dunze on the Bears suffered an MCL sprain, like Jordan Love. But according to Coach Matt Eberflus, he said he's day to day. He could potentially play this week, but just keeping an eye out on him. He could potentially also be out.
And
Jake
week
Ferguson in Dallas is week to week with a knee injury. They said basically the same thing, but it's a little bit harder, so that he might not play this week. David Njoku from the Browns also has a knee injury. He's also week to week. Same exact thing as Jake Ferguson. It's just coach is like okay. That's good. It caught me off guard because I didn't expect it. David Njoku on the Cleveland Browns suffered a knee injury as well. He's also week to week, just like Jake Ferguson. Same thing. They said he could potentially play, but yeah, Coach Stefanski was saying that he could play this week, but also maybe just play it safe. Puka Nacua on the Rams as well, knee injury. If I have the exact notes here, it was after he ran a route, caught the ball, I believe, and he might have re-injured his injury back in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna be out. He's gonna be placed in IR, so he's gone 4 weeks minimum. They still have Cooper Kupp obviously over there in LA, so that's good for them.
Then
But
we
losing
have
Nakua is never good.
T Higgins with a hand injury week to week.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not gonna be a good.
we don't know when he's gonna come back yet. I hope soon because he's a good wide receiver for the
Yeah, but
Bengals.
he's doubtful for this week, so
Yeah,
I think
and
they're just gonna play it safe.
same thing with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, same thing with Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson has a calf injury. He didn't play last week with the same injury. I just didn't report it because it was like it happened on Friday ish, I believe, when it was reported. So it was after our episode was recorded. He is also week to week, but he is doubtful. So we'll probably see
Uh,
Justin Fields again next week.
he did play, and then like practice, he got hurt in practice or something.
Yeah, he didn't play last week, but yeah, he
Oh,
was
okay.
during practice. He got
Yeah.
injured, so he was out for last week and probably this week too.
He's been for two different teams now. That's
3.
their three. No, two different teams before that.
Oh yeah. Seattle Broncos.
Yeah.
And now
Next,
Pittsburgh.
next, that week
We
2
got week 2,
recap.
the recap. We got a week 2 recap for NCAA. We're gonna try to do lightning round on this because we have a lot to get through. Georgia beat Tennessee Tech. The Golden Eagles only scored 3 points. Georgia scored 48. Pretty big blowout. Moving on, Ohio State shut out the Western Michigan Broncos. We had Texas versus Michigan. This was 2 ranked teams going head-to-head.
One's
Texas
SEC
won
and
31.
one's Big Ten. Big Ten and SEC team.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Texas won 31-12. 4th ranked Alabama beat South Florida 42-16. And then we had an upset when Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame was 5th ranked heading into this week, and the Huskies were unranked. The Fighting Irish lost 14-16.
That was
and
crazy.
Then we have here, yeah, that was a crazy one. Right here we have Ole Miss ranked 6th. They beat Middle Tennessee 52-3. We had Oregon in a close one against Boise State 37-34.
So same Dean days.
Yeah.
More.
We got a lot to go through. Penn State beat Bowling Green 34-27. There was only a 1-score game between these two. Missouri shut out Buffalo 38-0. 11th ranked Utah beat Baylor 23-12. 12th ranked Miami beat Florida A&M 56-9. USC ranked 13th shut out Utah State.
This one
is crazy. 2 ranked teams again, but this time it was
number
14th ranked Tennessee, the Volunteers. They went to NC State and beat the Wolfpack 51-10. Then we had Oklahoma beating Houston 16-12. A couple of these have been close. A couple of these have been
They're both SEC team now. So more.
We have a lot more to get through. We have. All right, let's lightning round this. Kansas State beats Tulane 34-27. LSU beats Nichols 44-21.
The team was.
We have an upset here where Illinois beat Kansas 23-17. The Jayhawks were the 19th rank. We had Arizona beat Northern Arizona 22-10. We had another upset here where a ranked team lost to an unranked team. Iowa State beats Iowa in the Battle of Iowa 20-19. Louisville beat Jacksonville State 49-14. We had Syracuse and the Orange beating 23 ranked Georgia Tech 31-28.
I know, yeah.
We had our highest total of 70 points with overtime, with Oklahoma State beating the Arkansas Razorbacks 39-31. Then we had our biggest differential here of 74 with Indiana beating Western Illinois 77-3. Our highest total with no overtime was actually 86 by 2 different teams. We had Clemson beating Appalachian State 66-20, and we also had the UNLV Rebels beating Utah Tech 72-14. Now we got our teams. San Jose State and the Spartans won 17-7 against Air Force.
10-point game. And then the Bearcats lost it against Pitt 28-27 by 1 point.
Yeah. A thing about these games is that San Jose State only scored 17 points, but in those 17 points, 14 were in the first quarter and 3 were in the fourth. And for Air Force, they had their only 7 points in the first quarter. So for 2 quarters, it was zeros across the board.
For these 2 games, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, it was back and forth. for a while there were no scores, and then finally Cincinnati had the biggest lead, and then Pittsburgh came back to win it.
Yeah, 14-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, to be exact.
Yeah.
So now we have our top 25 teams for this heading into week 3. With the usual bunch, like Georgia's still at 1, Texas at 2.
Ohio's number 3, and Alabama's still number 4, and so
Ole Miss
on,
moves
so
up
on,
to
so
5.
on. And then we have
But we do have a few new inclusions, 4 to be exact. 2 we've already mentioned of Iowa State and Northern Illinois, and 2 other ones of Nebraska and Boston College. The Cornhuskers at 23 beat Colorado, and the Eagles at 24 beat the Duquesne Dukes.
Yeah, we don't have the only we did the rankings, and some teams are not rankings. We're not doing them all because it will take forever for this. That's why
You would need a separate episode. All right, MLB Playoff Picture. Here we go. As of Monday, this is our playoff picture. We have the Yankees leading the East. They took it back since last week when we checked in, but Baltimore is behind by only a game. Or
2 games.
Sorry, a game and a half.
Yeah, a game and a half. Yeah.
In the Central Division over in the American League, we have the Guardians leading by 3.5 games. Royals are close. And then in the West, we have the Astros leading by 4.5 games, with Seattle at second. Now, over at the NL, the National League here, we have
the Phillies.
Got the Phillies up by 7 games, with the Mets and Braves fighting for a second place and potentially a wild card spot. In the Central, we got Milwaukee up by 8.5 games with the Cubs second. And then in the West, we have the Dodgers still by 5.5 games. Padres and Diamondbacks are fighting for a wild card spot over there.
Cincinnati is not in last place. They're in second to last place. They're a lot behind games.
Yeah, same with the Giants over here. We are behind by 15.
We're 70 wins and 75 losses. Yikes.
And we got 71 wins and 73 losses.
At least we're not Colorado with Chicago White Sox 112 losses.
Jesus.
Holy.
Also, to round up the wild card, by the way, in the AL we have Baltimore, Kansas City, and Minnesota currently, if the season were to end today. And over in the NL we have Padres, Arizona, and the Mets. Well, here's the WNBA playoff picture here. We have the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. The season's almost over, so we have a lot of clinching that we have to do. Liberty, all the way down to the Mercury, 1 through 7. Those guys have made it to the playoffs, where we're having a 3-team battle for 8th, with the Sky, Dream, and Mystics all trying to look for that final spot, as the Wings and Sparks are eliminated. And this is how it would look. We have the first seed going against the 8th, kind of like a normal playoff rounds. So we would have New York versus the Sky, Vegas taking on the Storm, Lynx take on Mercury, and the Sun take on the Fever. We have some World Cup to talk about, because this week we didn't have any Premier League games because the World Cup qualifiers were going on for a lot of the places. We have 3 hosts that auto-qualified with Canada, USA, and Mexico. And this time around, there's actually 48 spots instead of the usual, 32?
I don't know.
Let me double check.
I don't know anything about soccer. I used to play it a long time ago. I was a kid, and it was nasty and wet, and it hit me right here, like halfway of my arm, and they call it handball. And it was wet and nasty. It stings. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And ever since
I've been there
that,
too.
I don't play soccer anymore. I don't like soccer.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, there's 48 spots total, which means there's only 45 spots left for teams to qualify. As time goes on, definitely next year we will be sure to update you
Oh,
guys. Because these qualifiers go on they start in 2023 and they go on all the way until 2026. Just to find out who makes it to the World Cup, and then they do the World Cup. All right, so it's that time. It's NFL predictions time. Here's our current standings. Drumroll, please. We're tied.
I don't know how. That
Well,
was
me neither, man.
whoever I
We're 12
want
and
to
4.
win. The 4 losses are his. Whoever I won did win. The whoever he didn't want to win did one win. They lost. He lost 4 of them. Whoever I want to win, his whole win was like back and forth.
Yeah.
The
If I
4 I
remember,
want to win, they lost, and 4 he wanted to win, they lost.
if I remember correctly, it was we both lost Bengals predictions and we both lost the Ravens predictions. And then I went for Atlanta to win, but Pittsburgh won. And then I also went for the Raiders to win, but the Chargers won.
Yeah,
Your two other ones were you wanted the Colts to win. They didn't. And then you wanted
they
Jacksonville to
barely
win, and they
won.
didn't.
It was a close game, at least.
Yeah, both of your games were close at least. Mine were not.
You know, we both won the Saints win.
Yep. And they destroyed. So let's get into these picks for this week. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, we got the Bills going over to the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
It's gonna be a good game. Josh Allen taking on who's the quarterback for the I forget.
Tua Tagovailoa.
It's gonna be a good game. If Dolphins make it into playoffs, they need to make sure they're not in a cold climate because they are not good in the cold climate at all.
Yeah, but Miami this time will be playing in a warmer climate of
Yeah,
their own home.
Florida is warm this time, like almost like 70, 80 degrees, maybe near 90s. It depends what it is. It's always warm in Fort. Doesn't matter what part of Florida you're in. You're in Miami, Jacksonville, Sarasota, or anywhere in Florida. It's warm.
Yeah.
Dolphins won't have that bad chance. We don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna be watching the game.
I for sure will be too.
And then we
But
have
we must move on to our teams. We got the Niners visiting Minnesota at 1 p.m. Eastern. At 10 a.m. for the Pacific Standard Time people.
the new they had. This stadium was built a couple years ago because they had a snow, isn't it, with their old dome stadium. They had to make a newer stadium. The Vikings did,
Yeah.
and it looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have my team. I hope we can win week 2 because week 1 we were 6-point game, and then the Kansas City beat Ravens by 7 points. I hope we can beat Patrick Mahomes because the Bengal Joe Brewer is 3-1 or something like that. Then Kansas City. I forget what it was. It's somewhere around there. We'll find out at 4:25. I'm gonna be watching that game. I hoping we can win, have a winning record, have starting win and not whatever. So Patrick Mahomes. I hope I don't know. Patrick Mahomes will be. We'll see what happens. I hope
Yeah.
Joe Brewer can be good and Jamar Chase. We don't have T. Higgins right now. He's out right now. So we have a couple wide receivers from
Yeah,
Georgia
yeah,
and
you have
all that
mainly
kind.
Jamar Chase, and then running back you have Chase Brown
Chase
and Zach
Brown.
Moss.
And then we have our kicker, Money Mac. I call him the Money
Money
Mac
Mac.
because he got a
Yes.
raise.
Oh hell yeah, that's a W name.
And then Show, they call him Show Cole. We can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna move on to
Sunday
Sunday
Night
Night.
Football.
Oh, that was awesome. We both say the same time. That was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Where Houston will be hosting Chicago.
we'll
This will be
see.
a good game. I already know. Obviously, Caleb didn't have a great game week 1. Still won that game. But, could always just be that first game mentality of a rookie QB where
And
they're a
it's,
little bit nervous or something.
it's a brand new season. It's the first week.
Yeah.
Like shoot, like show, like any rookie or whatever has like to choose. So yeah, and then we
Yeah.
have your Monday Night Football.
Where the Eagles will be taking on
Atlanta
the
Falcons.
Falcons. Yep.
That's gonna be a good game. The Eagles don't have Chase anymore,
No more
right?
Jason to help with
No,
that tush push, man.
no more Chasing.
But who needs a tush push when you have a guy like Saquon Barkley to
The
score 3
Chasing
touchdowns in his
Kelsey.
debut?
So Chasing Kelsey doesn't play anymore. Trevor Kelsey, his brother still plays for the Kansas. Yeah, the Chiefs. And then we have our week 2
Total
picks.
picks. So, whoa. All right.
We have different things here. I'll go with
Mm-hmm.
me first. I have
Yeah, go for it.
Buffalo over Miami. I got Ravens over the Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers. I have Dallas. I have Detroit. I have the Packers. I have Jacksonville. I hope Jacksonville can win this time. I have Minnesota over the Niners. I have Seattle.
What?
I did the Seattle. I got Tennessee. I got Washington. I got Arizona. I got Pittsburgh. I got Cincinnati over Kansas. I got Houston this time. Then Chicago, and then I have Philadelphia over Atlanta Falcons.
Damn. So you got a different list than me a little bit. Mainly, our primetime games are the same, except for that Thursday night game where I
Oh
got
yeah,
Miami instead of Buffalo. I also got Baltimore, I also got LA, and I also have Dallas and Detroit. I do have the Colts over Green Bay though, because Jordan Love's out this week, and at least for 3. I don't know if Malik Willis is him. We'll see it.
I didn't
We won't.
know the quarterback for the Packers was out. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
Um.
he was Tony was telling me this before we started recording.
Yeah, and his predictions were already locked in, so
Yeah,
yeah. I got Cleveland over Jacksonville. I got San Francisco over Minnesota.
because you're
We
home.
both got Seattle. Yeah,
Because you're
obviously. I got the Jets over Tennessee. We both have Washington. I have the Rams over Arizona. We both have Pittsburgh. I got Kansas City, and
I see there. I choose Dan's your team. You choose Dan's my team this time.
yeah. And to finish it off in the primetime games, I got Houston, and then I got Philly. So same as you.
Yeah.
I think we have a. Do we have an odd number of different choices or an even? Because if we have odd, we're gonna have different record.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see when that. We'll see when the week's over. We'll definitely update you guys next week.
Okay.
And with that, thanks for watching, y'all. Been a great episode too. We definitely had a lot more to talk about. Thanks for sticking with us for however long we stayed, like 40 minutes. I don't know how long
We don't know how long because we have a lot of editing to do.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe and like my notification on all for my channels and Tony Bonus channels, and check out our social media: X, Instagram, and that's it, right? X and Instagram.
Yep.
That's it.
Just
Everything will be in the description. And check our Discord out too. The JOTO Show Discord. You want to find out more about stuff? Go there. See you guys on our time or the JOTO Show. Bye.